Viewers, today I have Dr. Swarnalata Bhishikar from Jnana Prabodhini Sanstha, and currently she is working in a remote place or badly affected by earthquake. If you heard of in back 2000 around, there was a massive earthquake in Maharashtra in Latur district. So Latatai is actively working in this area for the upliftment and rehabilitation of impacted people. The place she's in, the place where she's active is Harali. Before that, she has been involved in many other such empowering activities for the betterment of society. So let us talk to her about her journey and also the situation she saw 20 years back and now the development and the progress Harali is going through. All that we'll talk to her. So let me welcome formally Latatai to do our program.
And in my college days, I used to attend meetings conducted by him, and he would introduce us to Swami Vivekananda,
Hmm.
what is going on in the country, and what are we supposed to do
Yes.
solving the problems in this country. That
Okay.
kind of inspirational talk he used to give every Sunday.
Hmm.
I was deeply influenced by his personality and
Hmm.
his teaching.
Okay. So that's how this inclination towards social work started.
Yes, and there was a great bond of love
Yes.
between a father and a daughter.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I know before coming to Harali, you were involved in couple more projects. So let us talk about that.
Yes, like Harani is a place where in 1993 there was a great earthquake, big, massive
Yes,
earthquake.
yes.
So my journey in a way is from earthquake to earthquake
Uh-huh.
because when I I was 17, there was again this kind of massive earthquake near Koina.
Ah.
And this we were a group of young ladies,
Hmm.
and we were assigned the job of helping
Hmm.
the the wounded, the bleeding people who were coming from Koina.
Hmm.
They were coming to Soon Hospital Pune,
Hmm.
and for one, we were serving them in a way, helping them to find their relatives,
Uh-huh.
helping them medicine, food, and other things, and
Yeah.
taking care of them.
Okay.
That work of 1 month left a very deep impact on my mind.
Yes.
And I realized that
Hmm.
wherever there is calamity, where there is problem, we are supposed to go and help.
Hmm.
So that experience brought me to Harari
Hmm.
for 27 years.
Oh my goodness.
In the meanwhile, I did my PhD in psychology,
Hmm.
and I was working with Dr. Prince for some time.
Hmm.
Then I worked in Solapur branch of Jnana Prabodhini for about 12 years.
Hmm.
And in 2001,
Hmm.
um, June 2001, I came to Harali, and I'm here for the last 20 more years.
Hmm.
Uh,
I especially remember your work in Punjab Sadbhav Yatra,
yes,
Sadbhav
yes,
Yatra, then Kamgar Punarvasan back in
yes,
1995 2000, and
yes.
Solapur
Literacy work.
literacy work. So please let us know a little bit more about that.
Sure. These three were very, very kind of learning experiences
Yes,
very impact on my mind.
yes,
And I learned a lot about social work through these three big projects.
yes.
Probably you know that in 1984, the segregationist movement of Bhindranwale, uh, they were asking for separate Punjab.
Hmm.
They wanted Punjab to be a separate nation.
Khalistan.
There was a great violence.
Hmm.
People were many leading
Yes, yes,
personalities were assassinated in Punjab,
yes,
and whole thing was very volatile and sensitive.
absolutely.
But we, with the students of Jnana Prabodhini, totally a group of 100.
Hmm.
Of them, they traveled in the cities,
Hmm.
major cities of Punjab.
Yeah.
Myself and Avinash Dharmadhikari, we
Yeah.
two together, we conducted a peace march, Pakistan border, covering about 17 villages in Pakistan border.
Hmm.
And at two places, those were extremist centers, extremist training centers. Really a very risky place to stay and work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So with my students, I have slept near a big heap of rifles.
Uh-huh.
Very, very memorable experience.
Yes.
And all the time, that black shadow of insecurity
Right.
and was looming on our heads.
Yes.
Still, great satisfaction. We could meet the sick brethren there. And we used to sing Shabad Bhajans from Sri Granth Sahib. Then Avinash Dharmadhikari and myself, we used to talk with the people, dialogue with the people, their woes and why they don't want to stay with India. So all this came out. It was almost being near a volcano.
Yes.
But it's that feeling of having Punjab with us, Punjab is an integral part of India.
India. Yes.
Conviction helped us to go through. Remember in Amritsar Suvarna Mandir, 5,006 were in front of us. We're telling them that both of us, we are sons and daughters of heroes like Shivaji Maharaj and Guru Gobind. So we must stay together. And after completing the peace walk, we went to Delhi and met the leaders and had a dialogue with them and told them what is going on in Punjab. And many of them were just unaware of the gravity of the problem.
Correct.
But that kind of feeling that a part of India is getting segregated, and we must bind it together with patriotism and love. That was the lesson I learned from Punjab Peace Mission.
Okay. How old was you then?
I was 31, 32.
Okay. Okay.
The next very, very memorable learning experience was child labor rehabilitation.
Huh.
It is a government that we did in Solapur.
Yeah.
I was a part of the central committee that was conducting the activities for child. A very, very touching incident. I can't forget that. It happened in Solapur. You know, Solapur, the city where there's a lot of cotton and cotton, like they make cotton thread, cotton
Living. Yeah.
feathers. There was a young boy, very young, who was working in one of the factories, and the whole heap of cotton, because is the government people, they came to search there whether there are any child labor in that mill, and the whole thing fell on him, and he died there suffocated, and it created in Solapur papers also. It came as a headline, and everybody was concerned and worried about the state of child labor in Solapur district,
True.
city but district.
Yes.
So here we started 34 child labor rehabilitation centers in different parts of Solapur district, and I visit these places, talk with the people who were running it, and try to get maximum number of child labor again into the mainstream of education.
Yes.
So there I realized that here is a lot of our national wealth, our national wealth, and a big whole lot is deprived from education.
Yeah.
They are either working in tea shops,
Yeah.
they are working in factories, they are working in cracker factories,
Yes. Yes.
and such dangerous zones they were
Yeah.
working in, and no opportunity to work.
Hmm.
And I found many James there. In all 34 places, I found James
Hmm.
who, who were gifted, who
Hmm.
were gifted in arts, who were gifted in mathematics,
Hmm.
but never given opportunity to learn earlier.
Hmm.
That time it was a kind of lesson I learned that every child has a right to learn.
Yes.
Child is born with certain capacities
Yes.
and he has the right to let them open, bloom with all those capacities.
True.
But many a flower, many a life
Hmm.
born to
Hmm.
remain unsung, even unidentified.
Yes. Yes.
When I came to Harari, I came with this, in a way,
Hmm.
प्राण जिससे बोलते उसके साथ I came with a vow
Hmm.
that I must approach the last ignored child in this area.
When did this Harali happen, Tai? I think the background is again earthquake, right?
Yes, earthquake.
Hmm.
Just I briefly mentioned this total literacy campaign in Solapur and
Ah,
then
yes, yes, yes.
Harari. Just a few words about the
Sure.
total literacy campaign.
Yeah.
We worked in 37 slums of Solapur city,
Hmm.
mainly with women,
Mm-hmm.
37,000 population,
Hmm.
1,800 classes,
Hmm.
1,800 classes.
Hmm.
Of the time, from afternoon to night, I would move in jeep from one class to another class,
Mm-hmm.
talking really with ladies.
Hmm.
And there I found the woman power.
Hmm.
I was immensely impressed by the woman power that resides in slums.
Yes.
Kumud Bansal, the Chief Secretary of Maharashtra Education,
Hmm.
came to visit this project, and with us, she came to a place, a
Hmm.
small hut, and
Hmm.
there was a very dirty nala there,
Hmm. Hmm.
and but she was ready to do anything for this project, and she came with us,
Hmm.
crossed it, and inside the hut,
Hmm.
there was a young lady who was teaching 10 ladies.
Hmm.
She was fourth grader, but she was teaching them.
Hmm.
And husband,
Hmm.
dead, was just laying there in Nala.
Ah.
Such a sight to see.
Hmm.
So, yeah, the main, what are the men doing and what are the women doing?
Women doing, yes.
Such a drastic contrast.
Yes.
That also made impression on me. And in Harari, when I came here, I
Yes.
tried to meet the village women here,
Hmm.
try to understand their
Hmm.
problems.
Hmm.
So that is the background.
Okay. Now, before we move to Harali, all these experiences that you said needs a lot of courage, service-oriented mind, and a high level of sensitivity, which is generally not available with the major section of our society. One, they are oblivious. Second, they don't have mood to do it. um,
True.
I am also a follower of Ramakrishna Mission. I am initiated, so I am also involved in many activities, and I completely vouch for it that the service meaning is properly explained to you when you are working in such setup. But, many people who are in a very comfort zone and a very uh, proper setup, they simply do not even understand or sensitize the problem or the situation other side of the road is facing. Um, how to educate them or how to sensitize them on this requirement of our society?
All I think is they must come and see.
Hmm.
Now, a new concept is coming up these days, like there are places, hill stations,
Hmm.
there are some places where people go to educate themselves.
Yes.
So, like the places like Harali, I
Hmm.
think people are most welcome
Hmm.
to get sensitive, get to know the problems.
Hmm.
Uh, Sharad Joshi, one of the leaders in Maharashtra, he has said India is divided into two parts.
Hmm.
One India, INDIA. The other is Bharat, BHARAT.
Hmm.
That is Bharat.
Hmm.
Pune is India, Mumbai
Yes.
is India,
Yeah.
plus Chennai is India.
Yes.
So we have to build bridges between India,
And Bharat.
Chennai and Harari,
Hmm.
Chennai and other like Baba Amte's place.
Yes. Yes.
The service centers run by Ramakrishna Mission.
Yes.
So the need, they too want to know, but
Yeah.
some they didn't get chance to. Some,
Hmm.
but if we could really build bridges,
Hmm.
these two absolutely different sections of society.
Yes. Yes. Of two different
Those
worlds.
worlds. One is haves and the other is of have nots.
Have nots. Yes.
I have seen many sensitive people from India
Mm-hmm.
love to visit Bharat.
Yes.
They like to work for Bharat,
Yes.
and but nobody has told them come and do this.
Yeah.
So if we could like the voluntary organizations like the Jnana Prabodhini,
Hmm.
Ramakrishna Mission,
Hmm.
Vivekananda Kendra, and many other voluntary organizations,
Hmm.
they can be a bridge between these two segregated sections of India.
Hmm.
And if they write about their work,
Hmm.
if this work, rural development work,
Hmm.
women's emancipation work,
Hmm.
if they come to know about it, I
Yeah.
am many who have shown their willingness to participate in it.
Hmm.
So let us build bridges between these two worlds. That's the only solution.
Yes. Makes sense. The whole idea of starting this initiative, in my case, was to let people know about various philanthropic works happening across the nation, and women are in a lead role in those places, and they are doing a successful, wonderful job, and the person staying in the next city have no idea about it. So that is one reason for me to start this program, talking to people like you who are doing
Very
excellent,
laudable.
beautiful work for the deprived section of society. And people like me, as you said, India, are willing to do but don't know where to go, whom to approach. So this can be a window for them to know about such projects, and they can take a break, spend some time with this organization, work for your organization and people around you, and take back some message to more larger people and sensitize the society around them. Okay, now when did the Harali happen?
They would love it. When people come to Harali, they say, "Oh, there are no noises of vehicles,
Huh.
and such a pure air
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
breathe.
Absolutely.
So many birds are chirping around.
Yes,
Such
yes,
a wonderful, which
yes.
is not available in
Right.
even they think that they would love here."
Huh. Very true. Okay, when did you come to Harali then?
I started working in Harali in 1994 after
Mm-hmm.
the earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
I came to stay in Harali in June 2001.
I see.
So now it's 20 years.
Yes, yes. And
Because no facility for women to stay over here.
absolutely, I completely agree. Yes. So, Latata,
My,
Harali is a
my senior colleague, Dr. Amantar, he was staying here.
okay. So Harali is a place where we heard 20 years back or 22, 3 years back that there was a massive earthquake in Latur district, and it
Yes,
damaged the uh, places horribly. Harali is part of that?
yes.
Okay.
Harali, the Killari was the main center of
Yes.
it, and Harali is about 30 kilometers away from this place.
Okay.
But still very, very badly hurt, and almost all the houses in Harali were collapsed
Mm-hmm.
after the.
Okay. Completely affected
Like
area.
this, why Harali?
Huh.
There's an answer to this.
Mm.
Two villages from Harali, their names were Ratnaji and Parameshwar.
Okay.
We had given advertisement in papers that we would like to help, and those who need help may please approach.
Okay.
These two villages, they would all the time, they would come every alternate day,
Huh.
say that this has happened in our village, please come, please come. So they were pursuing the matter very, very intensely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then we came to Harari and we really saw this a very, very deplorable state of affairs.
Mm-hmm.
And because there was a kind of cooperation from the village,
Locals. Yes.
only these two, but the other villages as well,
Yeah.
we decided to work here. One more reason is it is like imagine a saucer,
Mm.
the center of the saucer. Okay. Harari is like the center of the saucer.
Yeah.
There is many villages with great population, say 1,000, 10,000.
Huh.
This is a small one with about 1,500 people. So, but all we can go to all these villages, the bigger ones, from
Yes.
this, and they also can send their children here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think you would know names of almost everybody in the 1500.
Not now because now the generation has
Had
changed.
changed. Okay. Okay.
But earlier generation, most of them I
Knew it. Okay.
their backgrounds, their problems, everything. I know.
Yes. It was like a bigger family.
Yes, yes. Now the children have gone to Latur, to Solapur, so
Uh-huh.
I would be able to recognize them. But the senior people, yes, I know.
Yes, you know. Okay. Um, Tai, now that you said the scene during that period was really devastating, almost everything had collapsed. How and I would not say easy, but must be challenging to work in such a setup which needed a great level of infrastructure, facilities, and of course funds. How did you manage?
The greatest problem here was depression. Great.
Psychological, yes,
Some
yes.
of them even committed suicides. One of
Hmm.
us who works here,
Hmm.
husband committed suicide.
Hmm.
Even they wouldn't like celebrate any of the festivals.
Yes, yes.
Nothing. There's no really will to live
Ah, no
was
life.
almost absent.
Hmm.
So what we did is we used to bring Solapur. We have a school in Solapur.
Hmm.
So all the young people from Solapur
Hmm.
would come here. They would meet the people in the villages.
Hmm.
On Sankranti, they would go to the places and distribute
Huh.
sweets and play with the children.
Hmm.
So that way, somehow Solapur children
Yes,
a lot of joy. Solapur youth brought a lot of joy here.
yes,
Had a very good mixing, and they become friends in it.
true. Hmm.
Also did some Shrama Karya, Shramadan
Yes.
labor, so
Yes.
voluntary labor
Yes.
for getting the houses done and setting up the things.
Yes.
Slowly, didn't change all of a sudden. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
fortunately, Jnana Prabodhini has a very, very good network of friends
Yes. Yes.
in India, in Maharashtra, and abroad.
Abroad. Yes.
It's since it started in 1960, 67.
Hmm.
Since then, we have been visiting places in different parts of India.
Hmm.
Many of us have been abroad and have good friends there who are
True.
ready to help.
Yes.
And as they came to know about this earthquake, they straight away approached us. Because they have a kind of trust.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
They offered money, and we really got good funds. earlier in the initial period, we used to go from Solapur, we used to come to Harali by bus with a tiffin and a thermos of a flask of
Yeah.
tea with us.
Yes.
The whole day we would work here and go back to Solapur
Yes.
in the
Yes.
evening by bus.
Yes.
But one of the friends in London, he sent us a jeep.
Ah.
So we could move more swiftly and it was more comfortable.
Yes.
So this way, many hundreds of friends came up
Helping
and they
hands came
helped us.
forward. Yes. Yes. I
And
remember.
even now,
Yes, I remember I was in college during that period, and I was somewhere in Pune nearby, and we too had a, real intense impact of this news because that was the age to get mm, affected very quickly. So we too heard about this,
I know,
and we too got involved into this various things, which may not be
uh-huh.
always fundraising, but spreading the information and telling people about it, and getting them involved into this work. So I remember the massive helping hand came forward for this particular project. Absolutely. So what kind of development projects now you have already introduced in this project?
The school, it's a residential school. Started primary and a secondary residential school here.
Okay. Okay.
And after that, we thought it's necessary that these young people from villages, they need to know agriculture scientifically, doing something, but not so scientifically. So the results are also not to the expectation. So to teach the youth agriculture
Hmm.
scientifically
Hmm.
and experiment on agriculture, horticulture,
Hmm.
we started a school, agriculture school,
Hmm.
where the students who have passed SSC
Hmm.
examination
Hmm.
started coming. Now we are kind of junior college
Yeah.
age. They started coming, and we used to talk with them. What is the situation is in your villages? Would you like to take new crops? And what is the technology for that? And along with that, we also discuss the social problems, men's problems,
Mm-hmm.
and because there were lady students as well.
Right.
So, in a way, this became a center for youth
Hmm.
discuss, to open up, to discuss their problems,
Yes.
discuss um, what they would love to do
Huh.
in agriculture and get advice about.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it started in 2006
Hmm.
and it is affiliated with university in
Hmm.
Marathi.
Hmm.
So
But water must be a challenge for the.
water is a challenge,
Huh.
still is a challenge.
Huh.
Present, since now I'm not an active member of Jnana Prabodhini Harali team, uh,
Okay.
like Gauri, she is MSc first class,
Okay.
medalist from Pune University.
Uh-huh.
So she's an expert in agriculture.
Okay.
Now she talks with the students.
Huh.
The principal.
Huh.
Now they are with her. They are doing. There are also her husband
Hmm.
Abhijit Kapre. Now he is the head of Harali Center, Jnana Prabodhini.
Hmm.
He is also a very dedicated person from
Mm-hmm.
Navy.
Mm-hmm.
He took voluntary retirement.
Hmm.
Both of them here in their early 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And for the last 6 years, they are doing wonderful work.
Wonderful.
Uh, one of the things they are doing, major things they are doing is water conservation.
Okay.
First, drinking water.
Yes.
And they visit the places, find out the need.
Hmm.
And for that also we get funds
Hmm.
and we properly use the funds and they are in touch with about 25 villages.
Okay.
Those have water and they are working in those 25 villages.
Okay. Um, I think you also have started a project in food processing. Um,
Yes.
so,
As we thought a
mm,
source of income
mm,
started, we grew fruit, created fruit plantations.
okay.
There are certain fruit which with, come up in little water
Mm-hmm.
supply.
Yeah,
So that kind of fruit like custard apple,
custard apple. Okay.
guava,
Yeah.
and so we made guava plantations,
Mm,
custard apple
mm,
plantations,
mm,
and lemon also.
mm-hmm.
And these days, after that, mangoes as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mangoes as well.
Mm.
Acacia is a special variety here
Okay.
in this area.
Okay.
We are growing acacia. So we were getting very good crops, and it was a good idea to use the fruit here
Mm.
to preserve the fruit
Yes.
and then sell it. So we gave training to a group of ladies from this village,
Mm, mm, mm.
and this fruit processing unit was started.
Okay.
It is not very active at present because we one after another droughts we had to face,
Yes. Yes.
and there wasn't a right person to guide and conduct the project.
Mm,
So at present it is in a dormant state,
mm.
but we do plan to start it again.
Yeah.
But
Maybe.
it went on for about 8 to 10 years and went
Okay.
on there. And Gail kind of worked with about 20 women in this village. And it was sold in cities
Mm.
and getting good market.
Correct. Correct. Um, I also want to know that now that the entire world is going through the dangerous pandemic situation, and it has also left a good amount of psychological impact on many people, directly or indirectly. Now, people at Harali and surrounding villages have gone through this depression and
Yes,
negativity already, and I'm sure they are more equipped and more ready to face this pandemic than people who have not seen such situation before. We will not say it's good, but that's the reality. Still, do you see that the entire society has come out of that shock now, and they have accepted, or rather, they have moved on, or still there is a some sort of a psychological impact?
yes. You see, this part of the country,
Hmm.
this part of Maharashtra, in the first wave, it was not affected much.
Yes, yes, yes.
Was not affected much. Even Harali and surrounding villages,
Hmm.
they weren't affected much
Hmm.
to the extent that cities were getting affected
Hmm.
in comparison with the cities.
Hmm.
So there wasn't kind of depression, but some kind of anxiety, fear, of
Hmm.
course, was there.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's a great fear still
Hmm.
of getting vaccine.
Hmm.
Vaccination.
Hmm.
Somehow there are rumors of vaccination that,
Yes, yes.
and people are very
Reluctant.
reluctant to.
Yes, yes,
So we have to do here. Our volunteers visit village houses,
yes.
and they persuade seniors and
Awareness. Huh.
aged people to get vaccinated.
Yes.
In spite of that, the fear still exists that
Hmm. Hmm.
no vaccination.
No vaccination. Sometime
There's
back.
a, and but even the percentage of people getting affected by corona,
Hmm.
that also is less in
Yes,
this.
yes.
So like, it wasn't like earthquake, the Great Depression and kind of things.
Right.
People are in good mood here.
Yeah.
We have a center here, and so the group of young people here, they are using telemedicine
Mm-hmm.
to help people.
Hmm.
So this team is young, team of young people is active here
Mm-hmm.
in the area that they persuade senior people to get vaccinated.
Yes.
There's a place of segregation here. People can come here,
Yeah.
quarantine.
Yes.
So the school building is given for that.
I see.
And the third thing is telemedicine, which is found
Yes.
very useful.
Yes.
So on these three fronts,
Hmm.
the team of Jnana Prabodhini Harali is very active these days.
Yes, absolutely. I was very sure of that. What is, you briefly talked about it, but still I want to know more about that part. As it is, women in the society having a lot of issues, whether it is psychological, financial, atrocity, or many other. Especially in this area, wherein the natural calamity and disaster.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
how is the situation of women, and how are you helping them to come out of it? Of course, it's 20 years now, so I'm sure you would have done a great job.
We couldn't, to be very honest, we couldn't focus on the issues of women
Hmm.
as we should have focused earlier. Let me
Okay.
frankly confess, because we were too busy
Mm.
in these projects. But two of my colleagues who are present here at present, Gauri, you already know, Shruti is staying here. Shruti is my friend here and colleague.
Mm.
But they are working on this problem very intensely these days.
Mm-hmm.
Statistics says that more than 50% of young girls here, they get married before 18,
Hmm.
before their
Hmm.
age.
Before they're matured.
Imagine 50, not a small number.
Yes, yes.
So they are meeting these days. They go and visit the villages. They have meetings of women. They
Hmm.
persuade them not to get their daughters married before 18.
Yes.
So bring before the disadvantages of doing that and the hazards doing that.
Hmm.
I don't be able to claim that it has changed the picture.
Hmm.
I am very certain that it is creating some kind of awareness in which,
Absolutely.
and I think that is a good beginning. And
Definitely.
this work will continue. It doesn't have end. It will continue. Right? Um, Women's problems. One of the gravest problems is liquor addict husbands.
Hmm.
Here, great liquor here,
Hmm.
and that just the whole family is affected.
Yeah.
A man,
Yeah.
the breadwinner, if he is a liquor addict,
Yeah.
affects the whole family negatively.
Yes. Yes.
So I think that also is an issue has to be looked after.
Absolutely.
So we are working on these issues.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. For
I,
sure.
we have made a very major impact, but we are aware and we are.
Working on it. And I think since they know you and you know them, it makes it little easy to talk to them
Yes,
and
yes.
make them comfortable and convince them.
There is a trust about Jnana Prabodhini.
Yes,
People
yes,
trust Jnana Prabodhini.
absolutely, absolutely.
And
Um,
when a new person, but coming from Jnana Prabodhini, he or she also immediately wins that trust.
True, true. It's a same thread, so it's easy to
Yes,
connect
yes,
with people. Absolutely,
yes.
I completely agree. Um, uh, yeah. So, Tai, one question came to my mind when I was going through the uh, website and your work. Uh, it's my personal opinion, and definitely want you to put focus on it. Is it a good idea to train the youngsters, the 10th pass and 12th pass students, both boys and girls, in two major industries? One is medical, other one is disaster management.
Yes.
Uh, Maybe from a very established organizations, from other cities or other states, and then it will give them employment opportunity. Also, I think they can understand the intensity of the problem more better way than anybody because they already seen it. That possibly helping point. Do you think it's feasible?
And, one difficulty is
Hmm.
uh, the institutions that give training
Hmm.
in disaster management and medicine,
Hmm.
the fees are very high.
Correct, correct. Yeah.
Like the rural students will not be able to afford them.
Afford it. Agree.
But if we can start, say, small diploma courses,
Yes.
like Tata Institute of Social Sciences is running a center here
Hmm.
about 70 kilometers away from this place.
Hmm.
So, but there also their fees are very high, but something like that
Hmm.
could be started here. Diploma course, um, and in medicine, not very expert kind of medicine,
No.
high specialization,
Yeah.
but the epidemics and their impacts, how to stop epidemics,
Right.
that kind of knowledge, I think it's a very, very good idea.
Hmm.
And such kind of diploma
Hmm.
courses
Hmm.
in simple medicine, like we are thinking of starting a assistant nurse course.
Correct. Pre-medicine,
Yeah.
pre-medic staff, what they call it.
Even some similar courses can be started, like
Yes.
for diagnosis you use
Yes. Yes. Yes.
DMLT, it's called
Yes.
DMLT.
Yeah.
That kind of courses I think can be run here and would be very useful for village youth too. And the need is never ending. The
True.
need is
Yeah.
so for village girls and village boys, such kind of courses like DMLT, nursing, if started here, they need it.
They need, and that will be um, both ways win-win position, so that
Yes, yes, they'll be able to earn good money,
yeah.
be a great public service.
Yes, yes, and also the organizations can approach
Yes,
people
yes,
wherein other hospitals or some NGOs
yes,
who are working
yes,
in this field can approach you and hire
yes.
children for some time, not children, the staff,
Young,
and
young.
work, make them work. Anyway, that was just a thought crossed to my mind when I was going through your work. Okay, wonderful. Now, what is your daily routine at Harani?
What was my routine or what is my routine?
Okay. I think what was will be a appropriate
I'm not
question.
a very, very active person now.
Huh. What was is appropriate question then?
You see, 2 years back,
Huh.
2, 3 years back,
Huh.
my routine is I get up at 4 o'clock and I meditate for 1 hour or so, sometimes more than that.
Mhm.
Then 15 we have a community prayer, group prayer here,
Huh.
and it lasts about 45 minutes or so.
Hmm.
When the person who led Harali project for a long time, his
Hmm.
name was Basanta Tamankar. He's no more. He passed away in 2017.
Hmm.
And he was here.
Hmm.
So after prayer, the whole group of workers, volunteers, would sit around him.
Hmm.
And the first thing is, before sitting, first thing we would do is Shramakarya, some
Hmm.
offering voluntary labor,
Hmm.
because we have 57 acres of land.
Wow. Hmm.
Um, there is work here and there,
Yes.
lifting bricks and then planting
Yes.
and so many things.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Sometimes that grouping the fruit and
Yeah.
plucking fruit
Yes.
and so.
Yes. Yes.
So we used to offer some voluntary labor. After that, we would sit around him and plan like, there are there are department in charge. One who is looking after agriculture, somebody who is looking after construction, somebody is looking after the school. So a group of 8, 10 young people sitting around him and planning for the day. What we did yesterday and what we are going to do today.
Today, okay.
In a way, reporting planning session.
Yeah.
It would last for about 1 hour. So after that, breakfast, and then the day would start, and it would usually end by 7 o'clock in the evening. It would, my work would be going to the school, seeing the lessons, talking with teachers, trying to understand their difficulties, suggesting some new ideas, new programs, and help them to implement that. So this way, with school, with library, with different departments, till 7 o'clock in the evening. Afternoon, of course, after lunch, a small break comes.
Yeah. Yes, required.
Again, at night, we would sit together. Like how was the day in a way?
Yes.
And that would be the closing of the day. And so usually it is still 9. It would start at 4 o'clock and it would end at 9.
Sure. Any last message that you want to communicate to the youngsters or the people who want to be doing some sort of social service but do not know how and where to start?
Our culture and tradition always tells us to look beyond yourself.
Yes.
Even the festivals you see in village, we have this Bailpura and other things.
Yeah.
You respect the animals.
Yeah.
You respect human life, you respect animal life, you respect plant life. So when you learn to respect these expressions of life, you in a way develop love and you feel like working for people, nature, and that gives you a kind of satisfaction. It's far better than having a pizza, going for a movie. I don't undermine it. Even that is a way you enjoy yourself, it's pleasure. But seeing beyond yourself is a key thing in our culture. So if that kind of education, formal and informal, goes, if young people imbibe these values, I think they will be happier persons. There is a beautiful poem by Rabindranath Tagore. Says that, give me the strength to surrender my strength to thy will with love. Me the strength, it means I must acquire strength. It means I must develop my personality in various directions. That is me the strength. Then all that beauty of your personality, the strength of your personality, it is not just for yourself, but for the service of the Lord. So give me the strength to surrender my strength. So that is service, that is work without ego. So develop your qualities without letting your ego boost up. So be a humble person.
Be a humble person, yes.
Be a humble person. Have your personality developed in many, many dimensions, but be a humble person. And do whatever you do in the sense of service to the Lord. service to the Almighty. I think that is the crux of our culture.
Yes.
But uh, how to express this in modern terms, how to help the students develop their personalities and yet be a modest, helping them to be modest persons, and how the forces of cooperation be can be built up in groups, students groups, the volunteer groups, the group of industrialists at all levels.
Yeah.
How can we encourage the forces of cooperation and seeing beyond oneself and thinking about the country? That kind of atmosphere, that kind of culture we need as a country. That's what I
Yes.
feel.
Yes.
And with this sense, with this feeling, we can approach young people, whether rural or urban.
Yeah.
I think this message reaches. I have all my life I have been trying to reach this message to young people, and I'm very happy that they really get it. And I have seen such young lives blooming and being asset to the society. I think I'm very happy about this. I'm
Wonderful.
satisfied.
Yes. Wonderful. Um, in our culture, we have a term called Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam,
Right,
and
right. That is what I am
yeah.
trying to.
So if that is observed and that is followed sincerely, you'll automatically have a wonderful world around you. What
Right.
is the future plan for Harali you are thinking of?
Now, as I told you, it's not me.
Yeah, you are retired now.
Yes, I'm retired. But what I see, what they are doing,
Yeah.
I can see that they are very good friends of the youth of Harali, and young men and women I can see around them.
Mhm.
I think they too, through their lives, if they could have chosen, they would
Mm.
have lived in city, and they too could have earned a very decent money and would have lived happily in the cities.
Yeah.
But they chose to come here,
Mm.
and this group of young rural men and women around them, they are in a way teaching them that yes, grow up and find out what you can do. So prosperity is not a bad thing.
No.
Prosper in your individual lives,
Yes.
but never forget where you are born, and never forget those who are less fortunate than you. That's
Yes.
the message in a way they are giving through their lives and
Mm.
activities.
Mm.
It is certainly making a positive impact. I can see it on the faces of the young men and women who come here.
Excellent. Wonderful. That's all I had. So, thank you very much. And from my side, I wish you a very good health and
Thank you.
very peaceful retirement time and satisfactory time as well. And
I would just like to share a
yes,
thing.
yes,
In my life of retirement, I'm doing service to Ramath and Vivekananda Kendra,
yes.
particularly by translating their books
Huh.
and writing biographies of the leading people in these organizations.
Okay.
So Corona was not at all a boring period for me.
Yes.
So I do creative writing, and I'll
Hmm.
continue to do that till the rest of my life. The
Definitely.
rest of my life.
Definitely. That is another service to the society, sharing the core message of our culture and tradition. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. It was my pleasure and honor to have you. and we got to know more about Harali. So from my side, I will try my best to engage more people.
To all those who are listening to this dialogue, I welcome you, my dear,
Thank you.
and welcome all who are listening to this dialogue to Harali. Come here and stay with us.
Yes. So thank you so much, Dai, for your time.
Thank you.